Now, what happens, and this, I don't know if this was the case for you, but a type 2 diabetic, what happens in that process?
Their pancreas isn't functioning properly to produce the insulin.
Yeah. Pancreas goes, oh, I can't do this. I'm tired. I'm not going to deliver any more insulin. And so what happens as a result? If insulin's not there doing its job, what happens? Sugar stays high. If the sugar stays high, out of control, that is pre-diabetic and diabetic. That's how that works. So it's a 1-2 punch either way. It's either you're going to get fatter, I shouldn't say you, people will get fatter, or they'll get diabetes by eating so much simple sugars, processed, simple, high glycemic foods.
And that's type 2, not type 1.
That is type 2 diabetes. And so the prediction is 1 in 2 people by the year 2020, or maybe it was 2025, will be either diabetic or pre-diabetic. 1 in 2. And it is one of the most, if not the most expensive of the chronic diseases right now. It costs more to maintain it, to from the medical point of view.
Did you say diabetic or pre-diabetic?
Yeah, by 2025, it's either, I can't remember if I heard 2020 or 2025, 1 in 2 people will be, because we keep loading our bodies with the bottom of that pyramid turned, because it was originally designed good, grains, whole grains, great. If you're good with that, if it's not then great. You know, have your brown rice, have your whole, but it's turned into simple grains, simple sugars. Okay, does that help you understand a little? To me, that was motivating, where I said, okay, I'm not going to cut it out, but I'm going to drastically reduce how much sugar I'm eating. And like, I rarely have breakfast that's a cereal. I want to give you just a few principles that I think are pretty sound for most of us most of the time. This is stuff that I think in the 35 years I've been playing with this still continues to apply, and it did apply 35 years ago. So the first one, eat food that your great-grandparents would recognize. That's still a pretty sound principle. So what do we mean by that? Why? Real
food.
Meaning?
Not processed. Fruits and vegetables and meats, things that aren't packaged and processed.
Yeah. If you go back 100 years, and then, so okay, let me ask you this. What did most people eat on this planet 3,000, 4,000, even 2,000 years ago? Where did most people live, and what did they mostly eat? Not the farm yet. What? Which primarily consisted of what? For sure, meats. Nuts, berries. Where throughout all of civilization, where have people lived in a more permanent way rather than nomadic? Where did they lived along the sea? Right? We don't think of things in terms of long term, but you have the same DNA, you have the same physiology as our ancestors, and it's the same thing I'll say over and over again, what they adapted to is going to be best for us. You hear that? what our ancestors adapted to is going to be best for us. So, what did our ancestors long ago probably eat? If considering where they lived, fish. Now I know it's a big deal right now with mercury. We have to be really careful with that because that's one of the most toxic things we can possibly put in our bodies. So we do have to be careful with that. If you can find fish that is organic, is
Not farm-raised.
right. If you can find that, you're in good shape. But that's just an interesting one of those many things. Our ancestors, even 100 years ago, for breakfast, they would be eating bacon, eggs, meat. They didn't have a lot of fruits and vegetables, interestingly, because they didn't, I mean, it might be what they farmed, the few things, but you didn't have access to pineapple in Utah or bananas. I'm not saying don't eat those things, but we have to think about when I'm in Utah, what did I probably eat? What did my ancestors? Okay, peaches, probably. Cherries, raspberries, those kind of things. So